Welcome to The Deep Dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're really jumping into something, well, something powerful. Some source material that's compelling, definitely, but also pretty provocative at times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're tuning in expecting the usual soft skills chat, maybe think again. This is different. We're aiming to cut through that, challenge some of the, the standard advice, get right to the core.
Right. Straight to the bone almost.
Exactly. And fair warning, this stuff. It might just shake up how you think about leadership, about influence, about just getting things done.
It really might. It pulls no punches.
So our source today, it's excerpts from a piece called The Imperative of Confident Leadership. And trust me, it doesn't just skim the surface.
No, it digs deep. Really deep. It questions those things we kind of take for granted about how people are motivated, how they're led, how history actually gets made.
Okay, so what's our mission here today? What are we trying to get out of this?
Well, our goal is basically to pull out the absolute core insights from this. We want to dissect why confidence isn't just, a nice-to-have trait for leaders,
Right.
but why it's presented here as absolutely essential, paramount. We'll look at how it shows up, what it does in the real world.
And the flip side too, right? What happens when it's missing?
Exactly. The consequences, which the source paints as pretty stark, unforgiving even. So think of this whole deep dive as like a shortcut.
Okay.
A shortcut to understanding this really direct, no-nonsense view on influence, on action. It's about the raw mechanics, you could say.
All right, let's dive in then. The source hits you right away with this opening statement. It's blunt.
Super blunt.
It says, weak men never lead. They wait, they hesitate, they ask for permission, and history never remembers them.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, straight out of the gate, right? No tiptoeing there. It's designed to grab you, to challenge your comfort zone immediately.
It really does. So this idea of waiting, hesitating, asking for permission, what does that actually look like in practice? Well, it's not just literally, asking your boss, can I do this? It's deeper. It's this whole internal posture, this way of being that it cripples action. So waiting, that looks like seeing an opportunity but just freezing. Needing more data, always more data.
Analysis paralysis.
Totally. Or hoping for some magic sign that, let's be honest, probably isn't coming.
Yeah.
You're waiting for the perfect moment that just slips away.
And hesitating.
Hesitating is that critical pause, When speed is everything, you pause, someone else steps in. Or the moment passes.
Oh, yeah. Opportunity lost.
Right, or it's that second guessing yourself constantly, so you never build any momentum. You kill the idea before it even gets off the ground.
And asking for permission is broader than just asking the boss.
Much broader. It's like deferring to the group consensus all the time, being afraid to just take ownership, needing everyone to sign off before you take a single step.
It sounds like a fear of standing out almost. A fear of being wrong.
Exactly. A deep-seated fear of autonomy, or maybe just unwilling to stick your neck out. It's playing it safe, fundamentally.
In that line, history never remembers them. That's harsh. But it forces the question, okay, who does history remember? What qualities?
Well, history remembers the movers, right? The shakers. The ones who didn't just react, but actually shaped events.
The decisive ones.
The decisive ones, the bold ones. People who grabbed opportunities, even risky ones. Made the tough calls with conviction. And acted, even when things were uncertain.
Like pioneers, innovators.
Exactly. Revolutionaries. They weren't waiting for a perfect map. They were drawing it as they went, often against huge skepticism.
Right, so the opposite of waiting and hesitating is what? Taking initiative.
Unapologetic initiative. Making quick, informed calls, owning the results, good or bad. Learning from the failures, celebrating the wins. History remembers the agents of change.
Not the bystanders.
Not the bystanders, not the ones who are always hedging their bets. And it's fascinating psychologically why we default to hesitation.
Yeah, why do we do that? Fear of failure is obvious, I guess.
That's a big part. Fear of judgment, too. But there's also stuff like loss aversion. The pain of losing feels way stronger than the pleasure of winning.
Okay. So we're wired to avoid the potential screw-up more than we're wired to chase the win.
Pretty much. And then there's social conformity. We want to fit in, avoid conflict, share the blame if things go south. So standing out feels risky.
So for you listening, does this ring any bells? Ever held back a good idea? Waited for someone else to lead?
That impulse, that hesitation, the source is basically yelling, that is what holds you back. Leaders don't wait for the signal. They are the signal.
Hesitation is invisibility. Ouch.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
blunt, but maybe necessary.
Okay, so this leads to another point the source makes, which really pushes back against common wisdom. It says, leadership isn't about being the smartest in the room. Leadership is about certainty and influence.
Right. And this is where people often get tripped up, I think. We're taught, expertise is king, intelligence is what matters most.
Be the expert, have all the facts.
Exactly. And the source isn't saying intelligence is bad, obviously. It's valuable. But it's not the defining thing.
So what is this certainty it talks about? Because it can't mean you always know you're right, can it? Nobody's always right.
No, definitely not. It's not about infallibility. It's about projecting unwavering conviction in the direction you've chosen, even if that direction is into, uncharted territory.
So it's the clarity of vision and communicating that strongly.
Yes. Communicating it with such clarity, such resolve, that it cuts through the fog. It leaves no doubt about where you're heading, or at least where you intend to head.
Okay, so it's not about knowing every detail.
Less about knowing everything, more about knowing where you're going and making others believe in that direction too.
And that translates into influence. How does that work?
Well, think about it. When someone speaks and acts with that kind of certainty, what does it do? It reduces ambiguity for everyone else.
Right, it gives people something clear to focus on.
Exactly. You become a focal point, a beacon, you provide direction. And people, especially when they feel unsure or overwhelmed, they gravitate towards that instinctively.
Okay, but here's the tricky part. Can you be certain, project that certainty, but actually be wrong and still lead?
That's the provocative bit, isn't it? And the source implies, yeah, often you can, at least for a while, long enough maybe to get things moving.
Really? So confidence can trump being correct initially?
Think about it. A leader who's decisive, confident, even if they make a mistake sometimes, they often get more buy-in, more action.
More momentum.
Exactly. More momentum than the brilliant person who's constantly second-guessing and can't make a call. The second person might be analytically right eventually, but the first one is already halfway up the mountain.
Because certainty drives action.
Certainty drives action. Action gets results. Whether those are wins or lessons learned, people follow conviction. It's almost magnetic. They'll follow conviction even if they have some private doubts about the details.
Like conviction first, perfection maybe later.
Pretty much. Momentum matters.
Okay, this next point really dialed things up for me. The source mentions a Harvard Business Review finding.
Ah, yes, the HBR study.
It says people trust leaders who project confidence even more than leaders with higher expertise. And then it asks why. Because in chaos, the human brain craves certainty like oxygen.
Boom.
That feels so counterintuitive. We're always told expertise is the foundation of trust, right? Data, proof, competence.
From a purely logical standpoint, yes, it seems backward. But this taps into something much deeper, primal, almost.
Primal how? Like survival.
Yeah, think evolutionarily. When things are genuinely chaotic, a crisis, a major disruption, uncertainty everywhere, what's the brain's priority?
Survival. Safety. Figuring out what to do next.
Right. It's not really optimized for complex data analysis or nuanced debate in that moment. It's scanning desperately for a signal, a reliable signal of direction. Stability, safety.
Like an emergency response.
Exactly. It's hardwired. So in chaos, whether it's a literal fire, an economic crash, or just massive change inside a company, the brain feels threatened, vulnerable.
Okay.
And in that state, it's not looking for the smartest analysis. It's looking for someone who seems to have a handle on things, someone who offers any clear path forward.
Like a lighthouse in a storm. You don't care how the bulb works, you just need the light.
Perfect analogy. Confidence is that light. It signals stability. It signals I know what I'm doing, or at least I'm acting with total conviction that we'll figure it out.
And that feeling of control, even if it's just perceived control, is reassuring.
Massively reassuring. That's why the source uses the oxygen metaphor. When you can't breathe, you don't care about the air quality index, you just need AIR.
Right.
Similarly, in chaos, people don't prioritize genius, they prioritize decisiveness, direction, any port in a storm kind of thing.
So projected confidence becomes like a survival tool for the followers. You trust the person who seems calm and sure.
You instinctively do. You trust the feeling they project, maybe even more than their actual credentials in that moment. It's about being that pillar of calm.
And the source has its amazing analogy to illustrate exactly that point. The burning building.
Ah, the burning building. Yeah, that one sticks.
It says, imagine this. A building's on fire, smoke everywhere. Who do people follow? The quiet genius in the corner calculating exit probabilities. Or the guy who shouts, "This way, follow me, and now W," with absolute conviction. You already know the answer.
It's so vivid, isn't it? Because it cuts through all the noise. No corporate speak, no theory, just raw human instinct.
The quiet genius. They might have the best answer, the safest route.
They might have the perfect data-driven solution, but if they're just standing there thinking, paralyzed by analysis, or maybe too timid to shout,
They're useless in that moment.
effectively, yes, their knowledge is trapped. It can't be deployed when it matters most. They become invisible.
Whereas the guy shouting, maybe his way isn't perfect, but it's a way.
It's a way, it's direction, it's action. He provides the thing everyone desperately needs right then. A command, a path, a sense of hope, maybe. Momentum.
So in those high-stakes moments, decisiveness beats correctness, at least initially.
That's the brutal lesson here. Inaction or dithering can be way more dangerous than taking a slightly imperfect path quickly.
And you see versions of this everywhere, right? Not just burning buildings.
Absolutely. Think of a tense meeting. A problem needs solving and no W. Who tends to capture the room's attention?
The person who speaks up first with a clear idea, usually, even if others know more.
Right. The confident voice cuts through the confusion. It offers a rallying point. Even if others have more nuanced insights, the person offering a clear, bold path often wins the moment. It's just how we're wired, it seems.
This connects to the next idea, which is super interesting, contagion. The source says, confidence is contagious, hesitation is deadly.
Emotional contagion, it's a real thing.
We've all felt it, right? Someone walks in radiating confidence and the whole mood shifts.
Yeah.
But thinking of it as literally spreading.
It really does spread. When a leader projects that solid confidence, it stabilizes the whole group. People unconsciously mirror the emotions of those they see as leaders.
So the leader's confidence makes the team feel more confident.
Yeah, it builds psychological safety. It encourages people to take risks, be more optimistic. It creates this positive feedback loop. Leaders confident, team feels secure. Team acts confidently. Reinforces leaders' confidence.
And that's why high-performing teams often have leaders who just seem to believe so strongly.
Absolutely, they radiate that belief, and it infects everyone, in a good way.
Okay, so if confidence is the good virus, hesitation is the bad one. How is it deadly? What does that really mean? What's the damage?
Well, deadly might sound dramatic, but think about the impact. When a leader is constantly unsure, doubtful, second-guessing.
What makes everyone else nervous?
Totally. It breeds anxiety, uncertainty, distrust. People become afraid to act. They start questioning the leader's ability, the whole vision.
So projects stall. Opportunities get missed.
Exactly. Paralysis sets in. Competitors leap ahead. Morale just tanks. Teams, even entire companies, can just crumble under that weight of uncertainty. Even if they have great people, great ideas.
So deadly means the death of momentum, trust, potential.
All of the above. It kills momentum, trust, innovation, collective spirit. It creates an environment where everyone is just waiting, looking over their shoulder, afraid to commit because the person in charge seems lost. It's a slow rot.
Man, it really makes you reevaluate leadership. It's so much about perception, projection, force of will, not just skill on paper.
That's a huge part of the argument here, and the source uses historical examples to drive it home, starting with George Washington.
Right, the quote is amazing. When his soldiers were freezing, starving, ready to quit, he didn't give them a motivational TED Talk. Love that line.
Yeah, it puts it in perspective.
He rode his horse through the snow, stood in front of them, and projected certainty that they'd win. They didn't follow because he was perfect, they followed because he was unshakable.
Think about Valley Forge. Winter 1777. Conditions were beyond horrific.
Freezing, starving, disease, desertion was high. Right?
Through the roof, thousands sick, dying, barefoot in the snow, morale was probably non-existent. In that situation, a slick speech, probably useless.
They needed something real, tangible.
They needed embodied conviction. Washington didn't just talk, he was there. Sharing the misery, yes, but more importantly, standing in front of them.
The physical presence mattered.
Hugely. It wasn't just being there, it was projecting this inner state, this absolute refusal to break. Despite everything screaming disaster, his demeanor, his energy said, "We will win."
And that certainty was contagious, even in those conditions.
Desperately needed. And notice the wording. Unshakable, not perfect.
What's the difference there?
Unshakable implies this incredible inner strength, resilience, mental toughness, a refusal to be broken by circumstances, no matter how bad. It's not about having all the answers, it's about the belief in the outcome.
So they followed his belief, his iron will, more than a specific plan.
It seems so. That unwavering presence, that projected certainty, galvanized them more than any words could have. He didn't have to be perfect. He just had to be the rock.
Powerful stuff. Okay, then we shift gears. From the battlefield to Silicon Valley. Steve Jobs.
And another icon of conviction.
The source says the first iPhone wasn't perfect. In fact, it barely worked on stage. Which is kind of crazy to remember now.
It's totally true. People who were there backstage said the demo unit was incredibly buggy.
Like prone to crashing.
Yeah, he had this very specific path he had to follow, the golden path they called it, to avoid triggering bugs. Open apps in this order show this feature now. Any deviation, and it could freeze.
Wow, so it was theater, basically, high wire act.
Pretty much, but on stage, he presented it like, well, like the source says, the holy grail, effortless magic, revolution.
But Jobs didn't flinch. People believed him, not because of the tech, but because of his absolute conviction. That's why you're holding an iPhone today.
That conviction was everything.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? When you're pitching something new, something maybe not quite finished.
It means conviction can be more powerful than perfection, especially early on. Jobs wasn't just selling a phone, he was selling a future. His future.
And he believed in it 100%.
With every fiber of his being. And that belief was so strong, it papered over the cracks in the actual product at that moment. People bought into him, into the vision.
So conviction can actually override the facts, at least initially, enough to get things going.
It seems it can. It creates momentum, it generates belief, it gives the team time to fix the bugs, to make the reality catch up to the vision.
And the iPhone's success is kind of exhibit A for that argument?
Absolutely. It's the legacy of conviction overcoming a flawed start. People follow the belief.
Okay, hold on to your hats, because this is where the source turns the spotlight right back on us. The listener.
Yeah, this is the uncomfortable part.
It says, and let's be honest, most of you listening right now don't project certainty. You project weakness.
Oof, direct hit.
You second guess every word. You're terrified of offending people. You live like a damn background character in your own life, and nobody follows a background character.
It's brutal, isn't it? But it's meant to be a wake-up call, a real gut check.
Let's break it down. Project weakness. What does that mean visually or verbally?
It could be anything from avoiding eye contact to using hesitant language, maybe, perhaps, I think, sort of. A general vibe of timidity, indecisiveness.
Second guessing every word. That sounds like self-censorship. Fear of saying the wrong thing.
Totally. You overthink everything, qualify every statement until it has no impact. You sound unsure even when you know your stuff.
And terrified of offending people. That feels like a big one today. The desire to be liked, maybe?
Yeah, or just avoiding conflict at all costs. So you don't speak directly, you don't set boundaries, you don't take a strong stance because someone might disagree.
Which leads to being a background character, just blending in, reacting, not acting.
Exactly. Letting life happen to you. Following other scripts. And the source is saying these things, the weakness, the hesitation, the fear of offense, they are why you're in the background.
And why nobody follows a background character.
Because background characters offer nothing to follow. No direction, no vision, no certainty. They provide no anchor. Why would anyone follow someone who's just part of the scenery?
So this raises a tough question. Is being nice, being inoffensive, actually a form of leadership weakness, according to this view?
From this perspective, an emphatic yes. If your main goal is never to offend anyone, you will almost certainly never lead anyone in a meaningful way. Leadership involves hard choices, clear stances, things that will inevitably displease somebody.
Trying to please everyone means you lead no one.
That's the message. It's a tough one.
But it doesn't just leave you there feeling attacked. It offers an analogy, a solution almost.
The GPS. Yeah, love this one.
You want to lead, then act like the GPS in your car. The GPS doesn't say, excuse me, maybe if you're free, turn right. Huh.
Right, it's absurd when you put it like that.
No, it says, turn right, period. You don't like it? Too bad. You still obey.
It's brilliant because we all experience it. The GPS is the epitome of certainty.
Zero hesitation, zero apology, absolute clarity.
Turn right, recalculating, you have arrived, boom, no ambiguity.
So how does that translate to leading people? Be a robot.
No, not be a robot, but communicate with that same level of clarity. Remove the ambiguity, give clear instructions, make decisive statements, cut the waffle.
Stop hedging. Stop qualifying everything.
Exactly, speak like you know the direction.
And the crazy part is, like the source says, even if you disagree with the GPS, you think you know a shortcut or you hate that route, you usually just do it.
You still obey. Why? Because it's clear, it's confident, it removes the burden of decision from you in that instant.
So a leader who speaks with that GPS-like certainty can compel action, even if the idea isn't instantly popular.
That's the power of it. The sheer force of the conviction makes people fall in line, at least initially. You might grumble, but you follow the clear path. Clarity drives action, not necessarily agreement.
Okay, from the digital clarity of GPS to something much grittier. The bar fight analogy.
Ah, yes. Down and dirty leadership wisdom.
Here's some American folk wisdom.
Right.
In any bar fight, the loud guy who says, "Follow me," gets the crowd. The quiet guy sipping his beer in the corner, he gets ignored. That's leadership in its raw, unfair form.
Crude, maybe, but undeniably resonant. It strips away all the niceties.
In that chaos, people aren't looking for nuance.
No, they're looking for immediate direction. The loud guy, whether you like him or not, provides it instantly. He takes charge, he's a rallying point.
And the quiet guy, even if he's thinking brilliant tactical thoughts,
He's irrelevant, background noise again, ignored, forgotten in the moment.
So it suggests leadership at its core is kind of raw and unfair. It challenges the nice, neat versions we often prefer.
It definitely does. It implies it's about immediate impact, perceived conviction, taking charge, even if it's not polite or thoughtful in the traditional sense.
Does that mean only extroverts or loud people can lead effectively then?
That's the question it raises, right. But I think the deeper point isn't about volume necessarily, it's about the projection of certainty.
Okay, so an introvert could project certainty too, just differently.
Absolutely. They might not shout, but they can speak with calm, unwavering clarity, give precise instructions, act decisively. It's about cultivating that inner certainty and finding your way to communicate it. It's about stepping up and offering direction rather than waiting.
Recognizing that leadership isn't always fair, but it often goes to the one who seems most sure.
That seems to be the core message, yeah.
Which brings us to the call to action. The source gets very direct about what you, the listener, should do. First up, stop whining about respect. Respect isn't given, it's taken.
Whoa, yeah, that one lands hard. Because we're often taught respect is earned passively, right? Through time, good deeds.
Be nice, work hard, wait your turn.
And this just flips it. Whining implies you feel entitled to it, that it should just be handed over.
But the source says no, you have to take it. How?
Through confident action, through decisiveness, through certainty, by demonstrating your worth and capability so undeniably that respect is the only logical response. You don't wait for validation, you command attention through your actions.
It's an active stance, not a passive one. You make your presence demand respect.
Exactly. You act in a way that makes respect unavoidable.
Okay, related to that, it tackles the "I'm not ready yet" excuse.
Ah, the ready trap. We all fall into that one.
Stop waiting to be ready. Ready is a damn fairy tale. I mean, the language.
Great, isn't it? Cuts right through.
Washington wasn't ready, Jobs wasn't ready, Musk wasn't ready, they acted anyway. So is the message just do it, even if you're not perfect? Is perfection the enemy?
It seems to be saying that being ready is mostly just a fancy form of procrastination, an excuse, waiting for all the stars to align, all risks gone, which never happens.
The examples are key. Washington's army was a mess, Jobs' iPhone was buggy, Musk's ventures were huge risks.
None of them had perfect conditions, none felt totally ready by any objective measure, but they had conviction, so they acted anyway.
They jumped, maybe believing the net would appear.
Or maybe just believing so strongly they could weave the net as they fell. It raises this question: does confidence come before competence?
Or does acting confidently build competence?
That seems to be the implication. You don't wait until you're perfect to act. You become better by acting, by leaping with confidence. Leadership means stepping into the unknown with conviction.
Valuing action over endless preparation.
Yes, because perfect preparation is often just paralysis.
So it all boils down to this final punchy command. 3 short sentences.
The distilled essence.
So lead now, speak with certainty, own the damn room. Clear as a bell, no ambiguity there.
Not at all. Lead now. That's urgency. Initiative. Stop waiting.
Speak with certainty, communication. Cut the doubt, the hedging, be clear.
Crystal clear. And own the damn room. That's presence. Gravitas.
Not about being loud, necessarily.
Not necessarily lied. It's about projecting an undeniable authority. Through your words, yes, but also eye contact, posture, tone, that inner certainty radiating outwards.
So your ideas don't just get heard, they get felt. They land with weight.
Exactly. You become the signal in the noise. And for you listening, this isn't just for CEOs. You can apply this now.
Like small ways.
Sure. Volunteer for that tough assignment. State your opinion clearly in the next meeting without apologizing for it. Make eye contact. Speak with a clear voice. Small shifts can start it.
Okay. And then, the final hammer blow. The consequence.
The ultimate stakes. It's stark.
Because if you don't, you'll die as background noise.
And background noise never makes history. Wow, that's bleak.
But powerful.
It connects right back to the beginning, doesn't it? History remembers or it forgets. To die as background noise is to, what? Live without impact?
Be forgettable. Blend in, not leave a mark. Let your potential just fizzle out.
It's the ultimate cost of choosing hesitation over certainty, according to this source. It underscores the whole argument. Projecting certainty is vital for impact, for legacy.
It's a choice. Influence or anonymity.
Yeah.
Agency or passivity.
A direct challenge. Make your story count, or be an unheard whisper. It's provocative, for sure.
And that really wraps up our deep dive for today.
Yeah.
What a journey through this material.
It definitely gives you a lot to think about.
The imperative of confident leadership. It really doesn't hold back. It forces you to look at leadership, and maybe yourself, in a different light. Strips away the niceties. Says it's about certainty, action, booning your space, not just being smart or waiting for the perfect moment. It challenges that conventional wisdom hard.
It really does. And it leaves you, the listener, with this final thought to chew on.
Yeah.
If this source is right, if certainty is often more powerful than expertise in leadership, how does that change how you look at the leaders around you? Who you trust? Who you follow?
Good question. Makes you reevaluate.
And even more importantly, how does it change how you show up? How are you going to take respect, as the source puts it? How are you going to own the room starting today?
Not just be background noise.
Exactly. What's one small, decisive thing you can do, or one clear, certain thing you can say that signals a shift, something to really consider?